All right, everyone, welcome back to Talking Soccer. I'm your host, Justin Horniker, and we got a lot to cover tonight. Well, not a lot. One singular game to cover, but it's big because the U.S. Women's National Team lost 2-1 to Germany. First time losing out home soil since 2017. First time they've lost 3 in a row in 30 years. So, not all is well on the women's national team right now. And before we go into the game, I guess we can go over just kind of the overarching idea of like what we can take away from this game. Obviously, from a fan support side, over 16,000 in Fort Lauderdale for this game. Side note, I love the way that the Inter Miami colors look in the seats. I know it's a temporary stadium that's turned into a permanent stadium for a while, but I always love the look of those seats. And the fans obviously showed out for the women's national team. So I love that. Love seeing that. I don't love seeing them lose 3 in a row in like the same exact way that they lost to Spain and England. Like both the Spain team, both the Germany team were not their full strength team. And even though the England kind of threw a full strength squad out at you, a lot of the same mistakes I think happen regardless of who they play. You kind of saw it in both of the Nigeria wins. A lot of these same tendencies of just kind of when you're facing a low block, relying on crosses, sending in the same crosses over and over again. It's like check and repeat every game. And I'm not usually one to overreact, but I'm feeling a little bit overreacty. And you might laugh if you saw my video talking about Greg Berhalter yesterday and the roster selection. You might think I am someone to overreact, but I don't know. This has been festering for a while. So let's talk about the game. Of course, U.S. lose 2-1 to Germany. Starting lineup, Casey Murphy in goal. You had Alana Cook, Sofia Huerta, Mallory Pugh, Lindsay Horan, Sophia Smith, Naomi Girma getting another start at CB. Also, which it's been such a fantastic year for Naomi Girma. If we just kind of think back to this time last year, she was getting ready to play in the NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament for the women start this weekend. And now you see the year that she had. She walked into a San Diego Wave team, became such a crucial part of that expansion franchise to the point that they made the playoffs. She became NWSL Rookie of the Year, NWSL Defender of the Year, and has, if not a starting spot, have solidified a really important role with the U.S. Women's National Team. And a year ago, she was playing some college soccer. So that is just wild if you just zoom out a little bit. But Alex Morgan, Rose Lavelle, Andy Sullivan, and Emily Fox in this one. And, it's not a perfect starting 11. And obviously, there's a lot of kind of different moves being made if you look at the subs. So Taylor Corneck comes in, Samantha Coffey, Crystal Dunn, who is still working her way back into fitness. And I think, a lot of these issues do probably fix themselves if the injuries aren't as bad as they are. Say, if Sam Mewis was here, if Crystal Dunn was 100% fit, obviously, if Lynn Williams was back in the mix, if Julie Ertz was back in the mix, obviously, it still feels like they're trying to find that 6 with Julie Ertz out. It feels like injuries are a big part of the story, but I think even if you have that full-strength squad, I'm not sure that a lot of this changes. Trinity Rodman coming in, Megan Rapinoe, Ashley Sanchez, and it is that old guard that ends up kind of bringing this game back into kind of fighting position. Megan Rapinoe ties it 1-1 late in the second half after Alex Morgan wins a ball, doesn't give up on it. It looks like it's going to go out. She saves at the last moment. She recovers and is able to send in a pretty beautiful cross into a late arriving Rapinoe, who hits it cleanly. They will give up a second goal in the 89th minute from Paulina Krumbiegel, and that goal definitely comes in the same kind of way as the first goal, that kind of redirection that Claire Buell put in that I think has been changed to an own goal for Casey Murphy. But either way, they both kind of happen in the same way, which is the U.S. have numbers forward. They lose the ball either because they sent a cross in and it gets cleared, or a pass is intercepted, or just a ball doesn't go where, just the redirect is easily attained by Germany. Now all of a sudden they're going the other way. They have numbers, and that's where they keep getting exposed, is that very same thing. And it comes in, you have a front three who are, that front three tonight, all three of them were MVP candidates. Mallory Pugh, Sophia Smith, Alex Morgan, all three of them in the top 5 NWSL goals. I actually had Mal Pugh as my MVP. Sophia Smith wins MVP, and Alex Morgan, you'll still see people arguing that she should have won it. So those are 3 players who are in very good form for their club teams, yet whenever they go to the national team, it's not working. And it's not that like the international competition is just harder when all 3 of them have proven that they can score prolifically in international soccer before. Like, it's not a new thing for them, but there's something that's not working there. And if it's not the talent, if it's, the fact that they scored before, if it's not the defending, if it's not the goalkeeping, then that tells you that it's the coaching, it's the game plan, it's the constantly thinking that the only way to break a low block is to, push pressure up and try to overload that back line to the point where you have, lines on lines that you're just trying to feed crosses into the whole game. That's not working. And it's not that it can't work, because obviously Lindsey Horan is unlucky tonight in that she had, I think, 2 crossbars. But they're often relying on luck. When they win big, those are the balls that go in. But when you're unlucky, like they kind of have been the past 3 games, that Spain game, the England game, and this Germany game, where there are plenty of occurrences where, if you were to be tracking the XG in those games, that they probably are high XG opportunities, but they're just not going in. So if they're not going in, you don't have luck on your side. That really exposes the game plan. And they don't seem to be able to mix things up. They don't seem to be able to adapt. They don't seem to be able to have that killer instinct. They don't have that dog in them, as they say. So anyway, all that out of the way, there were some high points in this match. Of course, Rose Lavelle took a German player's soul. She has a family, Rose. You can't be doing this. Nutmeg, and this is the one where she sends it in. Lindsey Horan gets on the end of it, but somehow hits the crossbar and stays out. Lindsey Horan also had a fantastic header that, from the perspective of the camera angle, looks like it hits the back of the net, but it really goes wide. So Lindsey Horan, if you've been noticing, she's been playing extremely well for Lyon this year. She's been the only thing keeping them afloat, and her form is still there. She was just unlucky tonight. If some bounces go their way, it could be a 4-1 game because of how well Lindsey Horan played, how well Rose Lavelle played in that situation. So there are definitely some high points. Naomi Gurma, I thought, was fantastic. There were a couple opportunities where they were cycling the ball around, and Naomi Gurma fakes to go back to the goal, but turns it, and then they're able to get out wide and get on another chance instantly. And that little bit of skill on the ball can just be so important. I think that is where the next generation of this team is. Maybe that's under a different coach. Honestly, I'm not a person to say you have to fire the coach today. You have to fire the coach tomorrow after a result like this. But the World Cup is not that far away. If they're gonna change coaches, they need to do it now, sooner rather than later. Anyway, if you like this video, if you want to see more stuff from me, make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought about this game in the comments below, where you're at with Black Hill right now, and we'll talk pretty soon.